Let us close the eyes with deep love, remembering God and all the masters, offering our prayer. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May God protect us all. May we enjoy food together. May we meditate and pray together. May we attain wisdom through our study and discussion. May there be no conflict among us. May there be peace within and everywhere. Om. Amen. I bow to God who is formless and omnipresent. I bow to all the masters of Kriya Yoga lineage and all the saints and sages of all times and places. I bow to each one of you as your living power of God. Good evening and welcome to this new series of lectures. We are going to begin today. We are thankful to all the masters, saints and sages for all their wisdom and teachings we have received from them from time to time. Approximately 50 years ago, our society was based on character ethics, which means a person previously was judged by his character. And then during last few decades, the basis of personality judgment has become the outer personality. No matter what the character of the person is, whether one has become rich or great by fair means or not, one follows moral ethics or not, nobody is bothered about that. We just see the outer appearance. This change occurred because we focused our attention on external behavior and outer appearance only. Because we are living not in totality, but in fractions. However, character is the reflection of your total inner personality. What is the meaning of character? So just to understand, there are some definitions of this word character. If you see the dictionary, character means a mark, sign, or a symbol as a letter or figure, usually used in writing or printing. Second meaning is group of qualities that make a person, group, or thing different from others. For example, we say the town has a special character. So third meaning of character is a distinguishing feature. Like we say plant's bushy character. It is distinguishing the plant from other plants. Here, we will consider the second meaning. The character means the group of qualities that make a person different from others. So today's discussion will be based on character. Now, How the character is judged? Our character is judged by 5 things. The kind of movies we enjoy. If we enjoy violent movie, naturally people can easily guess that our nature will be violent. The kind of music we listen to, suppose we love listening devotional songs. Naturally, it shows that we are more devotional. The kind of company we keep or avoid, that also tells our character. Then the kind of jokes we tell or laugh at. Do we enjoy decent jokes or some other jokes? Fifth factor is the kind of books we read. What type of books do we read? Are we interested in reading novels, or we are reading spiritual books or fiction? So all these factors, they tell how our character is. So other people can judge our character by these parameters. However, today I'm going to discuss something about the character. And why character? The simple reason is we want to know how we are progressing or how we are moving on the spiritual path. But before that, let me share a story with you. I remember a young man, after a lot of struggle, reached the office for his first interview. While leaving the house, he was thinking, I wish, if successful in the interview today, then I would say goodbye to my ancestral house and I will settle here in the city. At least I would get rid of my parents' unsolicited advice and bothering for every little thing. And you may experience this. Probably we all have gone through this phase when our parents used to tell every single thing, do this, do that, have you done this? So this young man was also thinking like that. For example, from getting up in the morning to going to bed at night, he was disturbed by the commands of the parents. So he was thinking that how parents would tell, when you wake up, first fix the bed, then go to the bathroom, get out of the bathroom, then the decree continues. Have you turned off the tap? Have you put on the towel? Have you put the towel in the right place or thrown it away? If you get out of the house after breakfast, you get scolded. Is the fan switched off or still running? What more to hear? So this young man thought, I will leave my house if I get a job. When he reached office, he saw a lot of candidates were sitting in the office waiting for the boss. It was 10 o'clock in the morning. He saw the light in the corridor was still on. Remembering his mother, he switched off the light. There was no one at the office door, and water was dripping from the water cooler placed in the corner. So remembering his father's scolding, he turned the water cooler off. Then he saw the notice board with a message, the interview will be held on the second floor. The light on the staircase was also on, so he switched it off and moved forward. A chair was in the way. He moved it on the proper place and went upstairs. There, he saw some candidates, went inside and came out immediately. When he asked them, he was told that the manager didn't ask anything, just looked at the documents and sent them back. And when his turn came, he showed his documents to the manager. After looking at the papers, the manager asked him, when are you joining? He felt as if manager was joking, asking this question. So looking at his face, manager said, this is not a joke, but a fact. Then he explained, in today's interview, I did not ask any question to any candidate. Just watched everyone's behavior in closed circuit TV. Everyone came, but nobody turned off the water tap or switched off the light. Blessed are your parents who raised you so well and taught you all these good values. A person devoid of self-discipline can never be successful in management and the struggle of life, no matter how intelligent and educated he may be. On reaching home, this young man remembered his mother and father, thanked them, and apologized to them. In comparison to the university degree, the lesson that he learned from their concerns about trivial matters in the battle of his life was more precious. He understood that not only academic education, but discipline and moral values also play a vital role in our life. Good samskaras are necessary to live in the world, and these are given by our parents only. Very often people ask me, how should I know that I am progressing in spiritual life, I am progressing in meditation? This is a very common question. Guruji says, if you want to know your progress, simply observe your mind. If mind is more peaceful, loving, and balanced, then you are progressing. If mind is going down with negative thoughts and negative tendencies, then you need to meditate more. That means you are not progressing, you are stuck up at one place. We meditate regularly, but still, we do not see much progress. Our progress is the reflection of mind's purity and manifestation of divine qualities in our nature and behavior. If we are meditating really nicely, there must be transformation, definitely, and it will be reflected in our nature, in our behavior, in our face, in our actions. If we harbor on negative propensities, we lose our precious energy and our valuable time. These negative tendencies are the leakage in our personality as flaw in our character. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, we feel we are not progressing because whatever virtues we earn, we cannot maintain, and due to some bad habits, we lose them. If we consider life as a bucket and water as love and divine purifying energy, then our life must be full with regular and sincere practice. If we do honest introspection, we can figure out a number of leakages or holes in this bucket of life. From that, whatever we are earning or energy we get through our meditation, it is going away. Let us discuss some of these parameters of our character that can give us an idea if we are progressing on our spiritual path or not. So we will discuss them from an article, Test of Character, written by Grenville Glaser. I read this article long time back, and today I thought that maybe this is good for our introspection. So how to test your character? by honestly answering these questions. I remember when I was a student in college, my spiritual teacher also had instructed me that you have to work on two aspects. When you are following spiritual discipline, on one hand, you have to practice sincerely and regularly. And on the other hand, you have to plug all the leakages, because through these holes or leakages, all your energy is going away from you. So you cannot store it. So what are those leakages? They are the shortcomings or some bad habits in our nature. So the question is that how to know whether we are progressing or not. Although as Guruji said that just observing your own mind, you can know whether you are moving up, means making progress or not. But if you cannot, then there are some other parameters in your own character or behavior by which you can know how you are progressing. So this is the topic of discussion today. Test your character by frankly answering the following 20 questions, which I'm going to discuss in a couple of classes. If your answer to these questions is affirmative, you have a fault of character which needs correction. So are you ready for that? We'll go to that. What are those questions? So I'll share the first question. You don't need to answer me, but you have to introspect yourself and answer yourself. I'm not going to tell all the 20 questions in one class, but in further classes we'll discuss. Today, the first question, how to know your progress. The first question is, you have to ask yourself, do you lose your temper easily? Very important questions, because it directly reflects how peaceful our mind is. So do you lose your temper easily? Number one. So note it down and think about it, and you can answer in your own diary. I'm not going to give you the questions only, but I'll give you some solutions, some discussion about those negative tendencies, how to get rid of that. So if we talk about anger, what is anger? In Sanskrit, anger is called krodha. Krodha. So anger is an emotion. The second explanation is, what is anger? Anger is the result of our unfulfilled desires. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has explained about this anger in chapter 2, verse number 62. Sangat sanjayate kamah, kamat krodho vijayate. Kamat krodho vijayate means from the kama or desire. Unfulfilled desire lead to anger. Third is, if we split this word krodha, so we can say ka plus rodha. So ka means happiness and rodha means obstruction. So that which obstructs the happiness is called anger. Happiness is our own nature. But if something is obstructing it, we become angry. Fourth explanation is, anger is a natural response to feeling attacked, deceived, frustrated, or treated unfairly. So in any of these situations, the natural response comes out in the form of anger. When we feel we are deceived, when we feel that we are treated unfairly, when we are frustrated, or when we feel that we are being attacked by others. So natural response comes out in the form of anger, but it is not for the spiritual person. Ordinary person is affected and response is in the form of anger. In the Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, 21st verse, Lord Krishna is talking about 3 doors to hell. Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashanam atmanah kamah krodhas tatha lobha tasmat etat trayam tyajet. Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashanam atmanah kamah krodhas tatha lobha tasmat etat trayam tyajet. Meaning is that trividham, threefold. So there are 3 gates leading to the hell of self-destruction for the soul. Nashanam atmanah. What are those? Kama, krodha and lobha. Lust, anger and greed. Therefore, all should abandon these 3. Here when it is said, these are the doors to hell. Hell here is, don't think about some place. Hell means downfall. So these 3, lust, anger and greed, lead a person to downfall. Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashanam atmanah. I remember another quote. It is from Chanakya Niti. But before that, about anger, I remember another story. This story is from the time of Mahabharata. Once Vasudeva is the name of Lord Krishna, and his elder brother is Baldeva, and Satyaki is his relative, cousin you can say. So once Vasudeva, Baladeva and Satyaki rode on their horses and left for roaming in the forest. They call it Van Vihar, like going to picnic. Walking in the forest, they set out very far. At night, they decided to rest under a tree. Horses were tied nearby. The 3 decided to watch by turn vigilantly, so that they would be protected in the forest, and in turn, they would also get a chance to sleep. Satyaki was guarding for the first quarter of night. Just then, a ghost descended from the tree and began to challenge him to wrestle. Satyaki gave the same response to his bitter words and kept kicking him against the punches. So there was a fight between Satyaki and the ghost, and both were equally strong. This fight continued for the first quarter of 3 hours. Satyaki received multiple injuries, but he thought to keep it to himself and not tell others. Now it was the time for Baladev to wake up. So when Baladev was guarding, Ghost challenged him as well, and Ghost also got similarly very strong response from Baladev. Surprisingly, the size and strength of the ghost continued to grow as before with each fight. And Baladev too had to withstand a lot of injuries. The second quarter of night passed like this. Finally, Vasudev's turn came, Lord Krishna. He also got challenged from the ghost. But he kept on fighting with him, laughing and saying, Oh, you are so funny. You are mocking as a friend to save me from sleep and laziness. At this, the strength of the ghost decreased and the size also became smaller and smaller. Finally, the ghost remained small like a beetle. Then Lord Vasudeva caught him by swooping and tied him in one end of the scarf. After finishing routine work in the morning, when preparations were made to walk, Satyaki and Baladev told the incident of the wrestling with the ghost and also showed the marks of injuries. And on this, Lord Vasudeva said that the ghost had come to fight with him too, but he defeated the ghost and tied him in a cloth. Hearing this, both of his companions were surprised. Then Vasudeva explained to them, actually the ghost was none but anger in the form of bad samskaras, which increases and is doubled if responded with anger. But when anger is ignored, it becomes weak and small. Therefore, never respond anger with anger, rather respond it with love. So we should always respond with love. We should not react. Anger increases because it is just like a fire, and fire cannot be extinguished by putting ghee or clarified butter into it. Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashanam atmanah, as Lord said. So there is another quote by Chanakya. In Chanakya Niti, it is written, Nahi na asti, nasti kopa samo vanhi. There is no fire other than anger. And anger not only burns you, but also it burns others on whom you are expressing it. So anger should be dealt with love. I remember another story, because what happens when we become angry with someone, we try to dominate the other person instead of becoming calm and responding in a positive manner. There was a nice short story I remember. It was about a snake. A snake penetrated into a carpentry workshop. As it slipped, it passed over a saw and got slightly wounded. Suddenly it turned and bit the saw, and biting the saw, the snake seriously got wounded in its mouth. Then, not understanding what was happening and thinking that the saw was attacking him, it decided to roll around the saw to suffocate it with all its body by squeezing it with all its strength. But the snake ended up being killed by the saw. Now, but think about it. Sometimes we react in anger to hurt those who have harmed us. But we realize later that after all, we are hurting ourselves. In life, it is better sometimes to ignore situations, ignore people, and ignore their behavior, their words. Sometimes it is better not to react so as not to suffer consequences that can sometimes be deadly or harmful. Do not let hate take over your life, because love is stronger than anything. There is law of nature. The food we eat has to be digested and then thrown out of the body in 24 hours. Otherwise, we will fall sick. The water we drink gets in our body and it is thrown out in 4 hours. Otherwise, we will become sick. The air we breathe has to be thrown out in 1 minute. Otherwise, we will die. What about negative emotions like hatred, anger, jealousy, insecurity? We hold in our body for days, months, and years. If these negative emotions are not thrown out regularly, it pops up into psychosomatic diseases. Prayer are the safest way to dissolve these emotions. However, I'm not going into detail of anger, but just want to share with you some remedies, how to deal with anger. While dealing with anger, as I told you, that do not react, but respond with calmness, peace, and love. So there are 3 things which we can follow dealing with anger. First thing to remember, do not make it worse by rash behavior. That means not by words or actions, not to speak something bad and not to do something which can increase the anger in other person. And anger is just like chain reaction. If you respond in the same way, then it continues. But if you want to break the chain of anger, then not to use any word which is harsh, rather just keep calm. It requires a lot of strength. Second thing to remember, respond rather than react whenever possible. Very often it happens that as soon as we come across something which is unpleasant or somebody is trying to harm, immediately we start reacting. And very often without understanding the situation, we just react. So whenever it is possible, try to respond instead of reacting. Anger is like, when there is anger and you respond it with anger, what happens? It is like opening the onion. So one after the other, you just remove the skin one after the other, but there is no end. Third thing, do not express or suppress, but neutralize it. This is very important point. Do not express your anger and do not suppress your anger, but try to neutralize it. Now you may ask the question, how is it possible? Because we know only 2 ways. Either we express our anger or we suppress it. If you express the anger, it will harm the other person and eventually yourself also. But if you suppress it, then you're harming yourself more because you're holding on to this negative tendency, and it will result somewhere in the form of mental or physical disease. When we express anger, it is not good. And when we suppress it, it is also not good. Then what to do? The best way is to neutralize it. How to neutralize? Remember, anger, as we discussed, it is an emotion. Anger is also a form of energy. If we think about our own life, our prana, the pranic energy, life force is sustaining this body. Prana, this energy, pranic energy is neutral. Because if we talk about any energy, energy is formless. So this pranic energy is also formless energy. Now this formless energy is transformed. it is flowing all over the body continuously, but our mind gives some form to this energy. So by nature, pranic energy is also formless. Now, mind gives the form. Suppose mind becomes angry. So this energy, the pranic energy or prana, is manifested in the form of anger. When you are compassionate, the same pranic energy is transformed into compassion and it is reflected on your face and body in your behavior. So energy or prana is neutral and it is formless. Our mind gives the form and this energy starts flowing into that channel. So mind becomes the channel for that. And then we get the result. We see the effect. So how to neutralize means this energy which is formless, when it is manifested in any negative form, so we have to send it back to its original form, means let it become formless. Now, if it is expressed in the form of anger, you have to neutralize, means you have to send it back to its source. Where is the source? Source is your own self, and when this energy is formless energy, so it has to be again from form, it has to be neutralized and transformed into formless pranic energy. And how to do that? It is done by meditation. When we meditate, we learn this art of neutralizing by using the techniques like breathing or going into concentration or meditative state. So best way, if you want to neutralize any negative form of energy, we have to meditate regularly. It is not only with the anger, but with all negative tendencies, it applies. There are some methods, there are some techniques to deal with anger. Some of them work, some of may not, but still I will share with you some of these techniques, how to deal with anger. Recommended is that breathe slowly. You can find easily, or you can observe that the breath is continuously moving in and out. And if you observe and measure it, in 1 minute, average human being is breathing 15 times only. It may be 15, 16, but 15 average. Now, when you become angry, this breath rate increases up to 38, even 40 breath per minute. So when you start breathing slowly, the breath slows down and your emotion of anger also slows down. But you'll say that it's not easy because when you are angry, you cannot control. But still, if you remember, if you are meditating, then you can use this technique of breathing slowly. Try to breathe slow. In the time of anger, you see how rapid your breath becomes. Relax your body. Use up some of your energy safely, because when we meditate, we gain some energy. So use this energy to neutralize it. Another technique is do something to distract yourself. Suppose you become angry at a person. So if you're distracted at that time, your attention will be diverted from that person and you may forget that moment of anger, and it will you'll slowly calm down. There's another thing we call it, try mindful techniques, means watching the breath. You start watching the breath, immediately breath slows down and your state of mind will change, your anger will disappear. Another technique, look, anger means fire. So when you are angry, you are very hot. So drink cold water and your anger will slow down. And the best technique is that if you are angry, walk away from the place. The moment you leave the place, your anger will subside. Don't stay there, because if you stay in the same place with same person, you will become more and more reactive. You'll be boiling from within and definitely will use some harsh words which will make the situation more worse. So first thing, walk away from the place. Then you can cool down, think about the situation, whether you're right or wrong and how to respond. Because if you remain in the same place with the same person, you will definitely react and you will not be able to respond in a positive way. So you cannot resolve it. So these are some techniques to deal with anger. If you want to know more about dealing with anger and uh, how to neutralize this energy, Guruji has also written a book about anger. I remember a joke about this anger. There was a businessman in a village. I'm talking about India. And he had many servants. He also had a young cook. This cook was very, very nice person, every day making many delicacies. The problem with the businessman was that he was short-tempered. And for any little thing, he could become very angry, and even he would start throwing the objects. Sometimes he was so angry that he would slap the person in front of him. And very often this cook was becoming victim of the businessman because cook was around him most of the time. And whenever businessman was giving a slap or a punch, this cook was really hurt and feeling insulted, feeling hurt. He was crying. But after a couple of months, businessman saw a change. Whenever he was scolding cook or whenever he was slapping out of anger, cook was not reacting, but cook was still smiling and very calm. He was surprised about this change. So one day he called his cook and asked that nowadays when I am becoming upset with you or when I scold you, you don't become reactive, you don't cry even. So what is happening with you? And cook said, nothing, I am fine. His businessman said, no, there is definitely something. Tell me, how do you control your anger? And cook said, no, it's nothing wrong. I'm fine. He said, tell me the technique. Then cook said, if you don't scold me, then I'll tell you. And businessman said, okay, I will not say anything, but just tell me that how this change has happened. Then reply of cook was astonishing. Cook said that nowadays, whenever you are scolding me, I immediately go to the toilet and start cleaning the toilet. The businessman said that, how come it helps you to control your anger? And cook said, because for cleaning the toilet, I use your toothbrush. However, I'm not recommending you to use this technique. Rather, you should use the other techniques which we discussed. Two things are best. One is to leave the place immediately. Second thing, take deep breathing. Start breathing deeply. It will definitely change the state of your mind. Your anger will subside, and then think about the situation, how to deal with the person. Don't immediately respond. Don't immediately react, because sometimes we react and then we repent. So to understand the situation, understand the person from his or her viewpoint, we need to give some time. So better to leave the place, practice some deep breathing, and then cool down. Later on, we can deal with anger with love, and we can change the person also. So this is about anger. We talked a little bit. So the first question, do you lose your temper easily? If yes, then you have to work on that. If not, then congratulations. Your meditation will definitely help you to overcome this emotion of anger. So today's question is, do you lose your temper easily? You have to think about it and then apply whatever solution comes to your mind. and apply it. Meditate regularly, you will be free from anger. It takes time, but yes. Before coming to Kriya Yoga, I was also very reactive. Although I had been practicing some spiritual discipline from the age of 5 onwards, but still my anger was there. Anger means it was not in a bad form, but reactive nature was there. It is only the Kriya Yoga technique which helped me to be free from anger to great extent. I don't say that I'm totally free from that, but my anger is not to harm others. Sometimes I'm angry with myself and I don't achieve the goal which I have set. So I become a little bit upset that, okay, why didn't I achieve? So I have to do that. So in that way, anger is good. But to become angry with others is not good. Kriya Yoga technique helped me to overcome this weakness. It took me 2.5 years of regular practice, and I'm much better now. So please meditate regularly, think about it, and then in the next class, we'll discuss the next question and some other questions to know whether we are progressing or not. Do we have fault in our character, and where do we need to make some corrections? So with this, we'll stop here. We'll meditate for some time. What causes anger? There is a question. Let me just answer it. What causes anger? As I explained in the very first slide, anger is the result of our unfulfilled desires. When we expect something from others and when it is not fulfilled, then naturally the reaction comes in the form of anger. So don't expect anything. Expect means it should be realistic, not unrealistic. And second thing, that unfulfilled desires. We have many desires and we cannot fulfill all the desires. So when we cannot fulfill our desires, so naturally this anger comes. But however, we have to meditate, and by nature we are, some are short tempered or some are very calm, but we all can become more loving, balanced and calm by meditation. So let's begin our meditation. Wherever you are sitting, please keep your spine straight, chin slightly down. Think about your present state of mind. Is it reactive, angry, frustrated, stressed? It will change after meditation. Gently bring your focus to the soul center in between the eyebrows. Our spine is like a hollow pipe. Inside the spine, there are 3 subtle pranic channels. The central channel is Sushumna. Body has 2 poles. Top of the head is the North Pole. Bottom of the spine, the South Pole. Just be relaxed. We'll begin with observing the breath, mindfulness, conscious breathing. Observe every single breath. In the beginning, you may feel little friction in the nostrils, breath going to the lungs, coming out of the nostril. Just watch the physical breath. Now turn your attention to the subtle breath, which is moving from top of the head to bottom of the spine. Just watch. You are the witness. Now, a couple of deep breathing. Inhale, slow, long, deep, from bottom to top and top to bottom. Just move your breath consciously and feel the movement of prana, pranic energy up and down the spine. Please inhale, love, exhale, peace, inhale, love, exhale, peace, inhale, love, exhale, peace, inhale, peace, exhale, love, inhale, peace, exhale, love, inhale, peace, exhale, love, inhale, peace, exhale, love, inhale, love, exhale, peace, inhale, love, exhale, peace, inhale, love, exhale, peace. normal conscious breath. Body is still, breath is slow, feeble, mind is very calm. Remaining inside the cranium, merge with the inner space beyond body and mind. Meditate in this inner silence. Be still and experience that you are divine. Extreme calmness, blissful state. Again, concentrate in between the eyebrows. This peace and calmness you have to maintain in all the activities. This is the technique to neutralize our negative energy in the form of anger, hatred, and so on. If we do not neutralize sending these energies back to formless pranic energy, the source, it will remain in its subtle form in our subconscious mind and can manifest any time in future. Unless we learn the art of neutralizing these, we cannot get rid of them permanently. Gently open the eyes. You can add another technique. If you know Khechari Mudra, then whenever you become angry at anything or anybody, you can practice Khechari Mudra. It will help you to remain calm. I am praying to God and Masters. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all become happy and healthy, loving, noble and generous. May there be no suffering or sorrow. May there be more love, peace and harmony within us, among us, and in this entire creation. May the blessings of God and Masters be upon us all. Om. Amen. Thank you all. See you on next Thursday. Till then, meditate nicely. Jai Guru.